As the tide goes out, probably a dozen dolphins play between the waves close to the rock jetties. First one way, then another. They circle effortlessly in their home, the sea. They are comfortable in this spot today. Tears of joy fill my eyes. They are comfortable, at home, and happy. The mist above the water creates a veil of magic around them. In this one place, on this one day, there is magic here, and great joy, because the dolphins have come. Amazing beauty all around. I see you in these falls. I feel your presence. I breathe your breath and hear your wondrous call. Amazing beauty, gratefulness is what I feel with you. Where waters meet, I place my feet, my spirit's filled with you. The pulse of the world is music. Music that we can hear, and also music that we can't hear. And it's going on all the time, everywhere, in every living thing. Some of the most beautiful music in the world is the music of rain on the roof, the rhythm of thunder in the clouds, the sweet sounds of baby kittens meowing, the wind and birds singing through the trees, the rhythm of ocean waves and rippling mountain streams. Everywhere I go in nature, I see and hear the music of the animals and trees.
When a whippoorwill sings her lullaby, it means someone's bound to die. Heaven sees when you weep through an eternal overhanging eye, and the sun will rise, cast light upon the road, where the dead will begin their journey home, and the winds will sound a very different tune, where seeds of faith will grow. Winter descends upon the earth.
In the beginning, we had a natural relationship with the earth. We were in awe every time the sun rose. Finding food was not taken for granted. Having shelter and warmth was a blessing. How unimaginable it would have been then to think that the very basic resources of the earth that our ancestors so depended upon would eons of generations later be taken for granted, and that our spiritual foundation is no longer grounded in the miracles of the earth.
I'm from the country, the end of the line. Trucks run through here like they're out of time. 1,000 years later, it ain't worth a dime. We run through this world like we all wanna die. Bottles run empty, tears all run dry. Cigarettes are ashes in disguise. The last word is always goodbye.
blade of grass, a twig, a leaf, so many things are going on. Some parts are spiraling into birth and growth, and others the process of decay. But the pulse of life does not stop. Each form dies only to be born again.
It's your life, it's my life, and before we know it's gone, it's gone. Before we know it's gone. I'm tired of rushing my one and only life, rushing through life.
Many of us live in a world that runs more on mechanical movements than rhythmical ones. Mechanical is not good for the body because our natural bodies do not work that way. They work in relatedness to other living things. In our history, we had the early farmers who had direct contact with their animals and crops, and every day they had a reciprocal, rhythmical relationship with the natural world.
Summertime is coming, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around the blooming heather. Will ye go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to pluck wild mountain thyme all around the blooming heather. Will ye go, lassie?
The principle of trees is to take strength from the earth, from the water, from the rain, from the sun, from the air and the space that surrounds them. And the principle of us is to be nourished by the trees.
Right in the middle of a desert, where you think nothing will grow, a flower blooms on a cactus and shows us it just isn't so, and shows us it just isn't so, and shows us it just isn't so. Right in the middle of a desert, in the hot beating sun, the struggle to be alive is truly being one, is truly being one.
The dance of nature is the language of nature and a language of love for all beings. To see the natural movements and dances of plants and animals and their relationships in their natural habitats with all the other living organisms that inhabit the same environment is really something to see.